Hello everybody and welcome to Sunday Morning Knits, my channel where I talk about all things knitting, spinning, and design. My name is Laura and today I have a very fun episode for you. I did this back in the spring and you seem to love it. So I'm very excited to be bringing it to you again. This is my Sezane Fall 2025 knitting, I don't want to say dupes, but knitting inspired patterns. Let's say that. A few other notes about these patterns is all of them are size inclusive, so they all go up to at least a 60-inch bust. I've tried to highlight a whole variety of different designers, so from like really big designers down to a bit smaller designers. There's one free pattern in this listing as well. All of these are in a bundle on my Ravelry that I will link below, so you can go check all of them out at once. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about that. So today I have a whole bunch of sweaters for you and then a whole bunch of accessories. My apologies if I'm looking down this way, that's because that's where my computer with all of my notes is. Okay, let's get started. And we're gonna start with sweaters and then we're going to do accessories. So, starting off with sweaters, the first one that I have is the Stacy jumper. The beautiful thing about the Stacy jumper that kind of makes it stand out is the beautiful lace paneling that goes down kind of the top of the arm. It looks like there's a bit of a balloon sleeve as well. I can't quite tell in the photos, but I think there's like a bit of a balloon sleeve. Now, it was kind of tricky. It was kind of tricky to find a pattern that had all of those elements in it. So the thing that I looked for number one when looking for a similar knitting pattern for this was that beautiful lace texture. I think that a balloon sleeve or puff sleeve of some sort would be a really easy modification. You just wouldn't like decrease, or you'd maybe add a few stitches and then decrease really rapidly at the cuff. So I was looking for that beautiful leaf lace. Or just lace, sorry, it doesn't have to be leaves, but that beautiful lace. The pattern that I found that I thought really emulated this is the Ice Flower by Suvi Knits. This color is done in this sample is done in a much lighter color than the Sezane version, but I really liked that because you could really see the lace. The other thing that this pattern has that I thought was a really cute addition is the like picot edge around the collar. Kind of just brings out that like delicate feminine feeling of the Sezane pattern. Okay, next up we have the Aello cardigan. This is a really beautiful raglan cardigan, and you can actually, I'm not sure if you can tell in the photo that I have posted, but on the website you can see that there's a lot of like visible texture in the sweater. A lot of Sezane sweaters are kind of characterized by the use of kid silk and like mohair, so it's really got this beautiful halo and it's soft and fuzzy. I am not somebody who likes mohair, but I have a Sezane sweater. I have one of the cardigans that's 100% kid silk mohair. Sorry, it's not kid silk, it's just 100% mohair. And I find it fine to wear, which is wild for me because I'm very sensitive to mohair. But anyway, tangent. The thing that stands out about the Aello cardigan is that you actually can see a lot of that texture. There doesn't really seem to be any mohair. So when I was looking for a similar pattern, I was looking for visible texture, I was looking for that double knit button band, a crew neck sweater, and what I found was the Cardigan Roma by Mochi Knits. Now there is two big differences about this pattern as compared to the Sezane pattern, and those would be that it's I can't quite tell if it's a drop shoulder or a set-in shoulder for the Cardigan Roma, but it's not a raglan. But I really liked that it had like that visible texture and that double knit button band. The other thing is the pocket, but I think the pocket is a patch pocket on this cardigan, so you could easily omit it if you really wanted to get close to that like Sezane Aello cardigan style. Next up we have the Samuel jumper. Now this is actually like a vest slipover rather than my understanding of what a jumper is. So I was looking for the same kind of like delicate ribbing that goes along that armhole tiny bit of a drop, so it goes just over the model's, like the apex of her shoulders. There's like this kind of, it looks like a bit of a folded over rib collar. I can't 100% tell, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's full length, it's not really cropped. And what I was looking for, or what I found when I was looking for that cardigan, is a classic. That would be the Semper Slipover by the Knit Pearl Girl. I have not yet made one of these myself, but it is on my list of things I'd love to knit. I've never actually knit a pattern by the Knit Pearl Girl, and I really want to. So this is definitely one that's on my to knit list. It has the same kind of like delicate edging details, that double ribbed collar that I think matches the Samuel jumper really well. It has that fine gauge. A lot of Sezane patterns are characterized by really fine gauge, so like DK max kind of thing. So that's something to keep in mind. All of these patterns are knit on very, very small needles, so keep that in mind. But I think the Semper Slipover really encapsulates the Samuel jumper quite well. Next up, we have the Hugo jumper. Now, I really loved this one when I saw it on the Sezane website. I love the like braided cables that they have going down the front, and I love the kind of like mock neck collar that they have going on. I think it's just so beautiful. When I was looking at patterns for this, the main thing that I wanted was that braided cable look. So the pattern that I found to kind of go with this is the Fresno Sweater Light by Magdalena Parker. Now you'll notice right away that the big difference between these two sweaters is the neck. The Fresno sweater has a folded over kind of very small collar as compared to that tall kind of mock neck, but I think that's a fairly easy modification to make. You just wouldn't fold it over, and you would maybe do like maybe a handful of decreases, but like ribbing really cinches in. So I think that would be fairly easy to do. And the other thing is, it looks like the Fresno sweater has a little bit more ease than the Hugo jumper, but I'm sure that you could pick a size that has maybe that 2 inches of positive ease that the Hugo jumper is going for, rather than maybe the like 4 to 6 that we see in the Fresno sweater. Other than that, I think the braided cables are so beautiful. I really want to do a sweater in braided cables. I have a sock that I designed that has a braided cable down it, and it's so pretty, so I want to do a sweater with like braided cables, but so many things to knit, not enough time. Okay, next we have the Amelia jumper. Now, it was really interesting seeing the Amelia jumper pop up on the Sezane website, because I feel like this frill that goes around your like shoulder drop area and like across your chest and back was really big in the knitting world not too long ago, especially with the release of Laura Penrose's souffle sweater. Now the souffle has a really short little ruffle, but I think you could easily extend it to get that like huge ruffle drop look. You can actually also see that on the Amelia jumper, there's like, it's lighter. It's like 1 strand of mohair and lace, and then the rest of the body is 2 strands of mohair and no lace. And the souffle is actually 1 strand of lace weight up here and then 2 strands everywhere else. Or something like that. Maybe it's 2 and 3. I don't know. I haven't knit this yet. It's again in my queue, but I haven't knit it yet. So I don't know. I feel like they definitely pulled inspiration from Laura Penrose for this, but maybe that's just me. The only thing obviously that's very different between these two patterns is the souffle doesn't have that lace up top like the Amelia jumper does. However, I feel like everything else is quite similar. I know that Laura's version has short sleeves, but some of the testers did do the long, poofy, bishop sleeve, that's the word I'm looking for. Did do long bishop sleeves, and I'll make sure to like pop a photo of that in there. I'm not sure if that's in the pattern or if that was a modification they did, because again, I haven't knit this yet. But other people have done it, so you definitely can too. Next up, we have the Andeen jumper. I thought this was so beautiful, especially on the model. Oh my god, I saw this and I was like immediately in love. I love the like cables that they've chosen and the kind of like thicker collar that you see around here, and then obviously the like ribbed button band. So pretty. The knit pattern that I have found that kind of matches this is the Seri cardigan by Knit. It has extremely similar cables going down the front. The only thing is the Andeen jumper is a set-in sleeve and the Seri cardigan is a raglan. So there is a little bit of difference on that front, but I think the main vibe of the Andeen jumper is that like beautiful, thick cable texture kind of cardigan vibe. And I think you get that fairly well with the Seri cardigan by Knit. I have never knit a cardigan, fun fact. I have one on my needles, but we're getting there. And I really want to knit the Seri cardigan. I think it's perfect fall cardigan. Cables just have my heart. So this has been a very fun video to make because cables have my heart. I just love them. Okay, next we have the Melanie jumper. Now this is a very simple, tight gauge, small gauge, tight knit, mohair strand jumper. But what makes it really stand out is the embroidery on the sleeves. Now this has actually featured quite a few different patterns from Sezane this year. I saw a whole bunch of their patterns have that like lazy daisy embroidery, not just on the sleeves, some of them have it on the body as well, but this sweater particularly has it on the kind of little slightly puffy sleeves that they've got going on. So my thought process for this was to find a very similar delicate raglan with the kind of nice raglan detail that they have. I don't know if it's like a yo or like a rib. I can't quite tell in the photos just because that halo kind of obscures it. But there is some sort of nice raglan detail there. And then my thought process was you could crochet the lazy daisy stitch onto your jumper. So I found the Pullover 2.0 by Ngo Kuhn. My sincerest apologies. This is a lovely Vietnamese designer and I'm not 100% sure how to say her name. But I love this pattern. I think it's so beautiful. It's got that beautiful texture in the raglan and then kind of like nice flowy sleeves that kind of give that Sezane vibe. And I think if you really wanted to emulate the Melanie jumper, because the feature of this jumper is that like flower embroidery, I'd recommend doing a lazy daisy stitch, which is super easy. If you've never embroidered before, the lazy daisy stitch is very easy. Fear not. There are a lot of wonderful tutorials out there that can help you do it, and I think if you did it in like yarn, it'd be really easy. So yeah, I think you could do that like beautiful stitch pattern over the sleeves. Okay, that is it for sweater patterns. Let's talk about accessories. So it was so cool to see some like knitting trends kind of influence Sezane this year, namely the Paul beanie. Now this is just a very simple 1x1 ribbed beanie, and the pattern I'm actually going to recommend for this is the classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho, because this is a free pattern and you get that same like 1x1 vibe. But I feel like this red was really big in the community recently, and so getting to see that kind of influence Sezane was really cool. A lot of the Sezane products this season are in this like cherry red color, which is really, really cool. I'll talk more about like colors coming up here. The next one, again, really, it seems to be heavily influenced by the knitting community, is the Comet hooded scarf. Now, when I think hooded scarf, I think of something else. This to me gives just like hood or balaclava, and there are a ton of hood and balaclava patterns out there. I'm sure that you've seen them everywhere because everyone is designing one right now, myself included. I have a hood balaclava in testing right now that's coming out in November. But the pattern that I really wanted to highlight for this is actually a true hooded scarf. So there is like a scarf component to it. And that is the Mia hood by Tox Knits. I adore this pattern. It is now on my queue. I'm so excited to make it. Again, that bright cherry color. I think it looks fantastic. The designer has made it so elegant looking and beautiful, and it's really giving that like, I don't know, just cozy fall vibes that I think would be would get the same kind of vibe as the come hooded scarf that you're going for. In terms of colors that seem to be kind of really popular with Sezane right now, we're seeing obviously a lot of cream. That's general for fall. I think cream is such a beautiful classic color. I love wearing cream, but I am very messy when I eat. So I also carry around Tide pens. Yeah, the other color that I'm seeing a lot of is the like browny red. Again, this is quite popular in the knitting community right now, having that like brown kind of tone for your wardrobe. So maybe another little knitting influence, but we're definitely seeing a lot of that in the Sezane colors. And then the like pops of colors that I've noticed are this like kind of yellowy browny color and this like bright cherry red. That bright cherry red is also really popular in the knitting community right now. I don't know about you, but I've seen tons of it. Isabella of Breathing Yarn has made a whole bunch of bright cherry red things, which is magical, and I am being influenced. I actually have a skein of hand spun cherry red yarn that I'm going to try to turn into something this fall. And finally, the other big color that I've seen from Sezane is that beautiful like moss green color like you see in the come hood photo that I showed. That's personally my favorite. I love the like slightly warm brownish green tone. I have a dress in that color actually that I love to wear. And I think that will hopefully be nice and big this year in the knitting community, but who knows. It's definitely really big in Sezane. Okay, that is everything that I had that I wanted to share with you today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. If there's anything that I missed, if there's any pattern that you think is really quintessentially Sezane, please pop it down into the chat. I would love to see, and I'd love for like there to be a little bit of a discussion about this in the comments. I really love the Sezane patterns. I'm a big fan of their clothing. But I know that their clothing can be quite expensive and outside of a lot of people's budgets. I have very few Sezane pieces. So I hope that this video gave you some knitting inspiration so that you can find a Sezane vibe pattern and then maybe knitting. Thank you so much for watching this. I deeply appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Bye!